show you how to install the new custom throttle body cover and plenum cover set for the LS2 Corvette. First thing you're going to do is apply some Velcro across the crossover fuel rail right here. Your kit's going to come with a chemical packet, an adhesive promoter. You're going to take that chemical and you swipe the silver bar and just kind of lay this over and fold it over like we did here. Okay, once that's done, you can go ahead and remove your fuel rail covers, because we're going to need to rearrange a couple of things here. You've got some hard plastic vacuum lines, and you have the mass flow sensor that has its connector. These two items are kind of in their way, and we're going to need to rotate these down. I'll show you how to do that in a second. First thing you want to do is just kind of take off your fuel rail covers. These have already been removed. It's a little trick to taking your fuel rail cover off on the driver's side. That'll help out a lot. You go to the auto parts store and get this $2 little removal tool. What this does is it allows you to remove your fuel line so that you can put either our new fuel rail covers or these factory covers on pretty easy. They're going to have a little safety hook like this that's going to clip onto the fuel line and kind of lock this connector in. It's kind of a quick connector deal. And what you'll do is you'll unsnap that. It just kind of lifts off the back, and you'll release it. And you'll put your tool inside this collar here, and that releases a little ring in there that will allow you to pull this off. Okay, we've already done this. Kind of speed up the video a little bit. Your kit's going to come with two replacement vacuum hoses. The reason why we're going to use these is so that we can sneak under the throttle body. The factory arrangement has a couple of hard lines, and these hard lines run across the top of the throttle body like so. This is going to be in the way for our new arrangement, so what we're going to do is just go back to the old school way of vacuum lines. These are nice, quick connect, hard plastic lines. They're very cool, but there's nothing wrong with going back to the old rubber style. So what we're going to do is remove those, and we're going to ask you to take you know, the longer hose like so and run it right underneath the coil pack bracket in between your fuel injectors and your coil back. There's a nice little valley in here that you can run your hose through and connect it to the back port. This is going to be an area where you'll quick connect the factory line and then just put the rubber one in and just kind of squeeze it on there, and that'll work perfectly. You'll run that through and tuck it right underneath the throttle body and come up on the other side and reconnect it where it was originally connected. Very easy thing to do. You just kind of fish it through. There's two main hoses, a smaller one, and that goes from this valve right here to, it kind of sneaks under the same way it comes out to this other side. So again, you're going to release the hard plastic lines. We've already done this here, but we'll show you. Just push in the little retainer ring here. You push this in just like so, and this will release your hard plastic. Then you take your vacuum line and you just kind of put it right over there. Now, when you're running this line through, you want to make sure that you don't have a kink here. You have enough length on your hose to just kind of nicely loop around, come back and reconnect it to the other side of the port. Now you want to do these hoses one at a time because you don't want to intermix the valves by mistake. So you'll do one, connect it, disconnect it from one port, disconnect it from another, run your replacement hose, reconnect it, and then move on to the other one. Now, once you've got both of those hoses in, the last thing to do is to kind of relocate these. Now we've loosened the bands here. There's 3 large hose clamps that you'll want to loosen, okay? In most cases, especially on the older C5S, this car came out in 2005, the rubber has a tendency to stick to the throttle body itself and this hard plastic tube. So what you're going to need to do is, once you've loosened this, you're going to need to just kind of slip this underneath here and loosen the rubber. If you don't do this, it's going to be very difficult to rotate these things where you need them to go. It'll really give you a hard time. So you'll just kind of want to just kind of detach the rubber from the air tube, and the same thing for the throttle body. Once this is done, you should be able to just take this and force this down. And we're going to bring this connector for the mass flow sensor all the way down, as far down as you can get it. Now, the next thing to do is to release this, the last and smaller black plastic vacuum line, and we're going to actually use that same line and just going to reroute it in a different way. So you release it, this little lever you got up here, and that'll take that off, and then you just kind of pull it off its port on this side. Now this tube, what you want to do, we're going to reuse that. So you want to bring it down to a good 45 degrees, or as far down as you can go, so that it will enable you to reconnect. And you're just going to twist the crinkle tube like so until you can get these 2 units just the way you want it. You bring this one down, you can actually tighten this. Once this is all the way down, just tighten this up so you're not fighting with yourself. And then that'll allow you to move the crinkle tube where you need it to go without having to deal with the mass flow sensor. Crank that up, and then just move this one all the way down. Now, relocating these 2 things like this isn't going to hurt or change the performance of the car in any way. It's just you're just kind of moving things around so that it'll accept these new parts. Now, the factory tube, vacuum tube, we're going to reuse this because we can change the direction of these little connectors to kind of suit our needs. So I'm going to sneak around here and show you that you can take this very same tube and route it underneath all this spaghetti here. It's kind of pretty easy, and it'll actually allow you to relocate the tube in the same, just like it was made to go that way. All you have to do to use it is to turn your connector, reconnect it, and just turn this and then reconnect it. So that effectively rerouted it, almost like it was made like that, and really cleaned up the whole area. So now that these things are out of the way, we can go ahead and install our accessories. It's going to come to you with a blue liner on it like this. This is to kind of keep the fingerprints off your part while you're manipulating it into place. We're going to show you how this works. The front of this is going to tuck right underneath the factory radiator shroud. You're going to just kind of put this on like that, and this should fit just like a glove, just like that. And that's it fits so nicely in place that there's really no other further attachment methods. I suppose you could put some Velcro in there if you wanted to, but it's really not necessary. Now, when you put your fuel rails back on, okay, thank you. Don't have the rubber clips on it. We're just doing this for speed. Once these are back in their natural place, okay, you're going to put on the plenum. This is the new plenum cover. It's a low profile plenum cover. It's going to kind of sit right on the fuel rail and attach to the fuel rail using a Velcro attachment tape here. Very stable. The side of it has these 2 little hooks that have been calculated to wedge into this shape, just like that. In order to put this on, just going to take the little tab here, kind of slip it under the fuel rail cover on one side and under the fuel rail cover on the other side, and then set it right on the Velcro so that you've got a nice position. And that's how it goes on. You'll remove your liner when you're all done, and that finishes the installation.